Hello, how are you guys? This is Chris Barron for the 17th of June 2020. How are you guys? What's up? How's your day going? I've just come back from the office and I'm ready to get started, ready to talk some Photoshop, but mostly talk about all sorts of other things as well. Which I'm sure is going to be quite polarizing because probably most of you guys want to know things about Photoshop and designing and whatnot. But yeah, again, it was a pretty difficult day, so I'm going to ramble on a bit about what's my life as an entrepreneur. Which again, I'm pretty sure that most of you don't care about that. But let me get something off my chest. So basically, I've been an entrepreneur. I've had several businesses, and I've had various employees. Right now, I think my team is about 13 strong. Yeah, I think 13 employees. Probably about 3 years ago, I had about 25 people in another business. And when I was about 21, I think I had about 12 or 14. So overall, I'm used to having people, having employees and whatnot. But as a business owner, I have to say that working with people is the most difficult thing you'll ever have to do. Working with clients or just with people in general is the absolute worst. You may think it's getting projects, it's getting more sales, it's getting exposure, doing great marketing and whatnot, but that's actually not the problem. It's always the client. It's always talking to people. And obviously today was no different. I had all sorts of issues with one of my sales agents and subsequently with one of my clients that basically, in short, that particular client did not pay his bills. Because that's life, right? You perform a service and then the client doesn't want to pay. Basically, in general, when you sign a contract, no matter what it is, you set a certain time frame for the payment. Something like in this part of the world, it's usually 30 days. Which can be a lot, it can be a little depending on, various things. But yeah, this particular client did not pay his bills, and my sales agent was supposed to actually solve it, to fix it. But unfortunately, this particular guy did not do it for various reasons. He's not very tech savvy, so he didn't know how to look at the invoice list and whatnot. So basically, one on top of the other, major problems occurred. Stress was all over the charts for me, for that client. No major arguments or whatever, but yeah, at the end of the day, I was really disappointed in this particular person, in my team member. And yeah, just like that, your whole positive energy goes down the drain. So that's really what happens in general when you see people, really upset and whatnot. No matter what you do in life. For example, my sister, I have a bigger sister, 6 years older than me. And, whenever she's upset, it's mostly about work. Someone from the office, someone at whatever. Basically, anything that's regarding the office, it's a big deal. It's a big problem, right? Because your stress level can immediately go through the roof if someone, just looks at you wrong or doesn't send an email correctly or doesn't send an invoice, a payment or whatever. So yeah, that's unfortunately life, Things happen, but mostly just because of people. So I think that's a good segue into what you should expect in terms of freelancing and working with clients. I think, dealing with difficult people and actually getting paid for your work are two things that are extremely overlooked. Because let me share my screen. Let's see, which one should we share? Yeah, this one. Okay, let's see. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Hopefully. So yeah, I think, most people, what they do is most designers, obviously they focus on the craft. Obviously they focus on, the actual design. By the way, let me know in the general channel if you guys can actually see see my screen, and hopefully the voice quality won't be affected. Hopefully. So yeah, again, most designers, what they do is they focus on the design side. And unfortunately, I think nobody actually prepares you for what's gonna happen, when clients don't pay, when clients are extremely difficult for no apparent reason. So that's why I actually started this podcast, whatever this is, with a few things about my own personal life. Basically because, again, you do all these things. We talk about, contrast and typography and whatever, legibility and icons and custom graphics and whatnot. But again, you have to realize that the most difficult problem, it's not actually getting reviews. It's not actually getting paid on time and whatever. It's actually managing your stress level. So I think your stress level is one of the most important things when it comes to your productivity. Because if you want to be productive, you have to feel good. That's one of the things that I really learned early on. I'm not sure how many of you guys are on the grind, how many of you guys are actually doing all those sessions, 2-3 hour sessions, 2-3 times a day. But productivity is deeply rooted into your energy. If you had a fight with someone, with your girlfriend, boyfriend, if your family isn't right, if there's noise around you, if there's anything that doesn't feel right around you, that's gonna obviously affect your skill level, your design skill level, and B, your interaction with the clients. Because what happens most of the time when you get into an argument with a client is you're a bit upset for various reasons, and the client is upset for other reasons. And out of that energy, basically, it's inevitable that you're gonna have problems. So I think what you should focus on, what you should really, really do, is you should think about how you can manage your emotions as best as you can. Do whatever you can to feel as good as you can. So when you open Photoshop or when you write this copy, you make sure you're in the best possible mental state. Because if you're not in that positive mindset, again, your productivity is going to plummet. And usually what happens is you are not going to get sales, and then you're going to be even more upset about it. You're going to be upset about your performance, your lack of clients, your lack of money. And then again, that thing is really gonna spiral out of control. So if there's one thing I would really like to give you a piece of advice on, is make sure everything regarding your payment is set up, again, in a contract, is set up based on an upfront payment. You have to take an upfront payment whenever you can. And over the course of time, you'll inevitably gonna get some people that are gonna take advantage of you, and you have to make sure you're gonna be strong enough mentally to push through that. I can't give you a foolproof way of not getting jacked up, because again, clients will absolutely grab your PSD. They will grab this PNG. They're gonna save it. They're gonna go on Fiverr or whatever other platform, and they're gonna hire another designer to actually recreate it. Or they're just gonna give this to their developer. And again, the client is gonna say, okay, make me something like this. And the developer, I think at least 2 or 3 out of 10, they're probably gonna do it, right? So again, mentally, you have to be really strong about it. Because again, we're going to talk about various things in just a few minutes, about various design decisions and whatnot. But I think that's actually what's going to make a difference between you earning whatever, the $100, $200, and actually making a career and making, tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The difference is mentally. The difference does not lie in, Photoshop versus Adobe XD versus your fonts versus FreePic versus, custom icons versus illustrations versus those things don't matter as much. They matter obviously at a certain point, but they don't matter in the long run. What matters most is how you feel, how you're like, where you're at with your energy. So, with all those abstract things that nobody gives 2 cents about, let's focus on some designs. Let's focus on something. So first of all, let's see. We see there's a guy here that sells logos for €2,000, which is about $2,400, I think. And he has a few other packages, and he has some orders. Okay, pretty good. Let's take a quick look. Okay. 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 Mostly from the United States, which is interesting. Something from China. I will design the perfect logo for your business. You're viewing a verified pro service. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, you will get whatever. Okay, nice and clean. I usually work on as many concepts as possible. We will work on a creative, unique, and professional logo for your business. Very close. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is actually quite nice. And basically, this is what you should be striving for. This is your aim. This is what you should try and do as much as you can. By the way, if some people can't see my screen share, that's because you tuned in too late. If you want to actually see my screen, you have to tune in. You have to be one of the first 25 people. So I'm sorry about that if not all of you guys can see my screen. So yeah, basically, I think this is exactly what you need. I think this is exactly what you want to do. You want to start on Fiverr, and then you want to get to this pro level. And to get to this pro level, what you have to basically do is just make sure you're constantly creating valuable content. You're constantly doing things that are premium quality. Now, on the other side of things, I really want to talk about this. I really want to talk about what this designer just did. Who is this guy? Let's see. So someone just made a design. Oh yeah, this person, which doesn't Shubham Gupta. So it would appear that he didn't change his username. He didn't tune in to the previous voice chat, but basically he did this for the $5. So let's have a quick look. Looks like it was already opened. So this is a major mistake. So while I agree that you should start out small, while I agree you shouldn't charge too much to get some reviews under your belt, I think doing this for $5 instead of $50, and come to think of it, he even says that the client didn't even post a review. So he basically did it for nothing. I think this is a major mistake. I think, obviously, if you specialize in web design and you want to work on Fiverr, you have to strive to get to Fiverr Pro, to charge at least $500 for your project. Now, trouble is, you're desperate for those reviews, but you should never sell yourself for pennies. So while I might need some reviews, I would not start at $500, right? So $500 may be a bit much. So that's obviously, when you have no reviews, that might not work. But $5, that's totally ridiculous, right? At least 20, at least 40, at the very minimum, right? Or even better, just do this. Start with something else. Start with banners. Start with a hero area, right? Just make the hero area. Just do web banners. Just do Facebook ads. Just do parts of a design, right? But don't offer the entire thing for $5. This is one of those things where you're actually doing more harm than good, because this client now received a fairly decent design for the $5. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna come here, he's gonna post a project, and then he's gonna want the same thing. And he's gonna say, okay guys, which one of you guys wants to make me a design? 5 pages, $20. 5 pages, $20? Yeah, well, somebody already gave me 1 page for the $5. So that's a pretty big problem, actually. That's a huge problem. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people hate 99 Designs. A lot of people, probably this guy that charged €2,000 for one single logo, which is again actually very reasonable. Don't think this is expensive. A logo is extremely difficult to do, and we'll probably talk about that in a separate podcast. So this price is totally on point. I think this is on the low end, actually. A good logo should be at least €3,000, and it should take you at least 2 weeks. This guy says 3 weeks, basically 18 days. So yeah, this is totally on point. So now again, what Gupta did, he made a major mistake. This is not the proper place. You can't start on Fiverr for the one complete homepage for $5 because that client now is ruined. That client, each of us, you know, every one of you, if you interact with that client, you're not going to have a good experience. You're not going to have a good time. And obviously, again, you know, Gupta probably just wanted, you know, to get the ball rolling. He just wanted some reviews, right? He was short-sighted, basically. He didn't think about in the long run. He didn't think about the community and whatnot. And he should not be, you know, he should not bear that responsibility to think about all of you guys when he made that project for $5, right? So I'm not saying that he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that Gupta, you know, he did something that hurt us all directly, intentionally. But that's what happened, you know? And this is why, again, why some people think that 99 Designs is a scourge. It's a plague. That 99 Designs is so awful because it makes clients, you know, it changes the client's expectations. Because if clients, you know, they pay $500 and they get whatever, 50, 100 concepts, 200 concepts, that skews their expectations. Clients no longer expect to work with one single person for 2,000-3,000 euro, right? So that's one thing that you should really think about. You know, when you accept to work for pennies, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody. But now, going back to more down-to-earth things, let's talk about this design per se. At the first glance, this design, this is worth at least $200. So this is the first thing you should know. This is worth at least $200, right? So let's break it down and see what's what. First of all, the orange that I use, this is very close to that. I love it. I think it's nice. I think it's very cool. It has a decent amount of contrast. The font is pretty basic here. It could do with a semi-bold or bold treatment. This is a bit thin, so what I would do is probably make it a bit bold. Regarding the call to action, I would probably increase the stroke by 1 pixel. I think this is maybe 2 or 3 pixels. I would probably go for 4 pixels in total. Let's actually open it in Photoshop and see what's what. Photoshop just got updated, but we'll talk about that in a different lecture. Okay, let's see what's what. So this is actually 2 pixels. Yeah, so I was right. This needs to be 3 or 4 pixels. Let's have a look in the colored picker. So this is where he's at. As you should know at this point in time that I'm not a fan of, well, this is at the edge. Again, the contrast is pretty decent, but I much prefer something like this, right? So this right here is where you should be. I think this will give you the best possible options. At least in terms of red, and for other colors you could go around somewhere here, but don't go towards the left. If you go towards the left, what happens is you see this S, this stands for saturation. So saturation should always be, I would say, at least 75%. So as I move towards the left, you can see a decrease, 35, 30 and whatnot. So these washed out colors, these are horrible. Clients hate them. And because they hate them, obviously you're gonna get poor reviews. Again, for those people who are not seeing the screen, the entire screen, I'm sorry about that. You came in too late, and that's because there's a limit of 20 people or so, I think. So yeah, some people see my screen, some people don't. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, can you guys confirm that you're actually seeing my screen? At least some of you. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Let me know. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue with the hero area. But again, please let me know, guys, in the general channel. Can you see my screen? Some of you. Let's see. If not, it's gonna be fine. Only Discord. So someone can. Okay, let's see other people. Let's see other people. Only Discord. Okay. Okay, that's a bit odd. Okay, let's do this. How about now? Let me know, guys, if you can see it now. Let's see, we're gonna do a quick pause and let's see if this is better. I doubt this is better, but I'm gonna ask anyways. So I'm gonna wait for 1 second. Only Discord right now. Stream settings, okay. Frame rate, okay. Still just Discord. When you minimize Discord, the screen gets paused. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry about that. I apologize. Let's see. Okay. Sorry about that. So if Discord gets minimized, let's see if we can do this. Yeah, okay. I think now you should be able to see it. Well, a big part of you guys. Let me know. Let me know. I just shared the entire screen. Let me know if you guys can see it now. Oh, okay. Let me do this. Change window. Okay, screens. Screen 2. Go live. Okay. Okay. Now it should be good. Is this good? Yes. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. A bit of a noob, bit of a beginner mistake. Sorry, this is the first time. Okay, so let's go again. First of all, the color picker, the header. So the color right here in the color picker is at the very edge. Being at the edge, it's acceptable. It's pretty okay, but it's not great. What I suggest is you stick to this part of the color picker. So this quadrant right here, this top right side, I think is best. Okay. Regarding the font, hopefully again you guys can see it. The font is a bit thin. It should be bold or semi-bold. I think, you know, just looking zoomed out, it's not that great. It doesn't pop as much as it should. So I think most clients will not love it. And again, one of the things that's really... Oh, come on guys. Does it still not work? Does it still not work? It says it's running. Damn. Okay, let's try again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Screens. Let's change it again. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yes. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for the standing by me. Let's go again. God damn it. We've talked about this edit for a long time, but again, thank you for sticking with me. So again, the color scheme here is not great. I think it could be improved. I think the color should be a bit more. So look. So instead of something like this, I would go for something like this. You know, brighter, more saturated. And again, I was showing you guys previously that, but well, obviously you weren't seeing it. When you're in the color picker, if you look at S, this stands for saturation. And as you move towards the left side, the saturation goes down. It's 60, 50, 40, and whatnot. So as you go towards the left, that's the danger zone. I'm really sorry about that. You should never use it. It's these peach, pink, these very washed out grays, they never work. So this is the staple of outdated designs. When you use something like this, especially for lawyer websites, clients hate them. So for attorneys, lawyers, and whatnot, corporate websites, it's horrible. Never go towards this part of the color picker. Now, having a look at the call to action, we're seeing the button is very tiny. It's only 40. Now 40 is extremely tiny. What I would go is at least 60. So I think the absolute minimum I said in Master Web Design in Photoshop is 220 by 60. And this right here, okay, this is what I like to see in terms of a call to action. Now let's go with learn more, right? And let's go with 26 or so. I won't actually obviously fix the entire website because it's not layered. I don't have the actual PSD, but I just want to show you what clients expect versus what this designer did. So learn more is very tiny, and obviously that's not good. It's not what you want. This right here is actually what clients appreciate, because the call to action button has to be generous enough so you can easily click it, especially when you think that most clients, most entrepreneurs, at least during my time as a freelancer, they use trackpads, they use a laptop, they use a very tiny resolution, 1366 by 728 or something really ridiculous. I'm assuming most of you guys are on full HD, 1920 by 1080, right? You should be using full HD. It's the golden standard. You should not go anywhere underneath that value. So 1920 by 1080 is what you should, guys, what you should be using. So what happens is, if people use something like 1336 or whatever it is versus 768 or whatever, when your clients use something like that, it's never a good look, and buttons and everything else, you know, the whole perspective gets skewed. Now, moving on, let's hide this and let's actually make this small. Hyphenation is a deadly sin. You should never hyphenate. You should never hyphenate. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why he chose to do it. Hyphenation can be easily disabled by just going here at the paragraph and hyphenate, right? So it's as easy as that. I did some recording, so this is why my this is why everything is messed up. Reset character, Myriad Pro 22. Okay, so it doesn't make any sense to hyphenate. That's first and foremost. And again, the width, it's so tiny, because when you come to think of it, when you think about this hero region, is there anything important going here? Obviously, this photo is fairly decent. It's not amazing, but it's fairly decent, right? So what you should be doing is actually increasing this right here. But even if you increase it, even though, you know, even if you place this headline on one single text, on one single line, sorry, so call center services, this is still a modest hero area. There's nothing that the client will actually, you know, that it's nothing that remains in your mind. It's not memorable. So again, even though this is for $5, you should do your best, right? So we're no longer talking about the design, you know, what it's worth and whatnot. Right now, we're just talking about what you should be doing in terms of, you know, improving your skills. You should take any project, you know, you should think of it as practice. Moving on down, because we spent so much time on it. I think this is pure black. No, this is 222, but this is pure black. So this is a pretty big mistake, because again, you know, there's a reason why you choose, you know, something like 222, right? When it comes down to typography, it just looks a bit better, right? It doesn't seem as harsh. It doesn't seem, you know, it seems a bit softer, a bit warmer. It doesn't make a big difference, you know, to be honest, but it does make a small difference. And we're in the business of, you know, every 2%, 5% adds up. You know, 2% here, 2% there, and it adds up. So, you know, pure black icons is never a good look. I don't think this is the right way to go. Now, another thing that's really bothering me right here is this particular color, this very washed out gray. And as you can see, I'm not even, okay, finally we can actually select it. So what this needs, so again, let's disable it. So this is the washed out light gray, and it's extremely washed out. What you should be doing is something along these lines, right? So this is the type of contrast you're looking for. Let me hit OK. So before and after. So this is what you can do. And again, I'm pretty generous because I'm not sure through the screen share thing if you're actually seeing it. I would probably go a bit lighter. Maybe something like that, right? So this is another pretty big mistake. And if you do plan on using a shadow, because I know some of you guys are thinking about the shadow right now, again, the shadow has to be extremely soft. Let's do a shadow together. Let's do something probably like this, right? Probably like this. So this is the type of shadow I would use for the base rectangle, right? And another thing, which is again extremely important right here. What's the width? What's the actual width of this design? Because this actually this doesn't make any sense. Let's have a look. I think it's 1400. I think no, it's actually, okay. It's actually just a random number, because why the hell not, right? Oh no, it's actually 1200, sorry about that, it's 1200. It is 1200 here, but right here it's not. And these are actually not aligned. So in terms of execution, this is horrible. This is what I talk about in the first part of Master Web Design in Photoshop. If you can't align things properly, if you're doing beginner mistakes, you can't really ask for the review, right? You can't really expect me to talk about, what type of icons you should use, or how to improve your copywriting and whatever, your headlines and whatnot, when you can't even manage to left align these two. Because again, if you think about it, why did this designer not see it? How could you not see it? I'm not sure how it looks to you, but for me right now, looking at it, this is horrible. This to me looks extremely, how could I put this? Sloppy, right? I think, again, you should be doing all these things. You should be aligning things correctly. It's the number one thing you actually have to do, right? You set up your guides, right? Your the active area, and then you make sure you create this grid correctly. So again, this is quite disappointing that this designer didn't do it, because I'm sure he's kicking himself, right? I'm sure that he's upset about it. I'm sure that he says, man, I aligned these two, but I didn't align this one. Well, actually, come to think of it, this one isn't aligned as well. So what I want you to do is think about why he made this mistake. What happened here that made him not align them? I'm guessing he was designing something like this. This is the only thing I can think of. Because if you're too zoomed in, if you're not seeing the complete picture, this is the only thing that, would probably make you, do that type of mistake. Another thing, don't use all caps with the first letter, even bigger than the other ones. I think it's an option here. I think it's this one. I never use it. Never actually use it. It's, it's terrible. So please don't do that. Let's see what else. Clients, okay, this is pretty okay. Yeah. Overall, it's again, leaving the money aside, leaving the fact that you should not design anything for $5 in terms of a complete web page. For the $5, again, what you should be doing is probably a small banner, 300 by 200, right? So for the $5, banner 300 by 250. This is the absolute max I could do. I would probably actually ask $10, because $10 seems much more reasonable, right? For one banner, 300 by 250. Again, even with all these mistakes, this is still worth at least $200. 200, 250, something like that, right? So please don't sell yourself short. Now let's see if we have any other things that we should be reviewing. Let's talk about this design. I don't think so. I think we actually already reviewed it, so I won't do that. Instead, let's see if there's anything else in the channel. I'm gonna go for 5 more minutes because I feel bad that a part of you guys did not see my screen. So let's do a bit more. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Let's quickly talk about this thing, because I would really appreciate to clear something up. So listen, guys, I know that some of you are not very confident in your skills. We spoke about that in the last conversation. I know some of you guys are not confident enough to, put yourself out there to create something for the clients, for 99 designs, or for whatever, right? So what you do is you prefer to maybe play it safe and sit on Discord, on this channel, and create something, to increase your skills. That's totally fine. But when you create something like this, when you create something that has no value whatsoever in terms of actually, making money with it, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing because you're shooting yourself in the foot, you're sabotaging yourself. You have to make sure that you're doing something where you can get paid. Look, you can at least create something for me, right? You can at least create a Facebook banner or something for my company, for example. And maybe I'm gonna like it, and maybe I'll send you some money, right? Or maybe create something for whatever from CrowdSpring or whatever. But use real projects, guys. Don't create things for the hell of it. Because this is not the first time I'm seeing a design that's not actually for a client. This is not the first time I'm seeing, a design made for the giggles, just for the fun of it. It's really so disappointing because you're wasting your time. And again, I really feel bad when I'm being too harsh about people's hobbies, right? Because I've seen some things here inside the chat, just for the fun of it, right? For example, this one, you won't make any money with this thing, but this is a nice technique to practice. It's nice to have it. It didn't take a long time, so this is pretty okay, right? But when you create complicated things, intricate things that you spend a lot of money on, look, for example, this thing right here, pixel art, it probably can be monetized at a certain point. But I'm thinking, why not actually spend some time into one single thing, whether it's web design or, again, ads or indoor ads or web ads or whatever, newsletters or whatever, and get fantastic at it, You won't get anywhere if you constantly do things. Look, something like this. Again, why would you create animations in Photoshop? Why would you do it, Again, I'm not being disrespectful, Rolands. I know it's your time, you can do whatever you want, but it just pains me when I see that some people here in the chat have potential, they can create beautiful stuff, they have the skills to actually start making money, and then, they spend time creating something like this, which is what, for likes? Likes on what? On Behance, on Dribble? It's unfortunate, So again, please, start creating things that you can actually monetize. Create stuff that actually makes sense. Overall, this is pretty good. This is pretty nice. But even here we can see some mistakes. Let's quickly go through it, and then we'll end. Unless you guys have some questions. The width 1440. I'm not sure who said 1440 is a good width, but whatever. Active area 1100, that's okay. That's what I talk about in my courses. Beautiful color, beautiful font. So this blue right here, this is gorgeous. I like it. Look, the saturation 100%. Very nice. There's no space here, which is a big mistake. This right here is not centered. So home is not centered. How can it spread? How can it spread? Probably. So this is another typo which clients hate. By the way, let me quickly talk about something else just as I go through this. It's, again, clients love communication. Clients love to talk to you. When someone calls me bro, I'm not offended. Or when someone calls me sir, I'm not offended just for the hell of it, right? I'm just thinking about the fact that when I was winning loads of contests on 99 Designs, clients were fed up of being called bro. Clients did not appreciate being called bro. Maybe I'm 60. Maybe I'm a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. You're not supposed to call me bro. Maybe I'm 21. You're not supposed to call me sir. So again, based on my previous experience, I found that clients are sensitive about these issues. It's somewhat in the sense of, asking a woman her age or asking her how much she weighs. You're not supposed to go into that sensitive side. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to create a beautiful design for his or her company. You're not supposed to make him uncomfortable. On the contrary, you're supposed to make him comfortable. You're supposed to make him trust you. Now, if you're being too formal, sir, I apologize for my design. I profoundly consent to create a better, beautiful website for your business, sir. This is way too stiff. This is way too rigid, right? It shows that your communication is not on point. If you write, okay, bro, I'll fix it, when the client gives you a review, Again, that's not professional. That's not what you need. So all these things, all these issues with your typos and whatever, this is actually a big tell sign. Clients, for whatever reason, for things I won't get into, don't like to work with people that don't speak decent English, right? And again, my English isn't that great either, so I'm speaking from experience. When you don't check your design for typos, when you talk with sir and bro, you're shooting yourself in the foot, no matter how beautiful your design is. Because unfortunately, people are very cynical and they think, man, I won't be able to talk to this guy. His English is awful. How am I supposed to communicate with him? How am I supposed to jump on a call and explain what I want for my business? How am I supposed to give this guy, a project for $12,000 if he's constantly telling me bro, calling me bro? Right? That's why I'm talking about this subject, guys. That's why I'm constantly pushing for being respectful and whatnot, right? And just speaking about perfectionism, this isn't perfectionism, right? These typos, these are decent, right? So it's something like ordering a bowl, a plate of food, and you're expecting not to have ants or cigarette butts or rocks in your plate, right? It's the same thing with typos. This is the bare minimum. It's not that you want a Michelin star, a high-end fancy dish. It's not that you want perfection, right, in your food. It's just that you don't want cockroaches in it, right? You don't want rocks in your food, right? So it's the same thing with typos. A typo can, again, hopefully, I'm not projecting too much, but from my experience, doing about 400 contests on 99 designs in about 2 years, people are absolutely, I've spoken to many clients over Skype, and again, they expressed so many times their frustration about these things, about not being able to communicate effectively, and by the fact that a lot of designers, they have so many typos in their design, and that gives it away. That gives their communication skills away, or their lack of communication skills actually. So yeah, please always proofread your design. Make sure everything is perfect. Make sure you're writing in proper English. I know it's difficult, but I think if you want to improve and you want to get more projects, I think the number one thing is to actually make sure that your English is on point. And when you copy paste some things, or when you write some things, make sure you go to a big website and just copy some things from there. So that's my advice. Okay, I think that's about it for now. I think next time I'll probably upgrade the stream quality, because it's only in 720p right now, and I'm pretty sure I can actually pay a very small sum and upgrade it to 1080p. I'll see if there's anything else I can do to actually improve the quality of the design. This was recorded, by the way, so just in case you want to review certain things, though I doubt it, because I spoke about that header for 10 times the same thing, but just in case you want to review it, I think I'm gonna post this on YouTube. I think it's very likely gonna be private or something like that, and I'm gonna post a link in the announcements. Overall, if there's anything else I can help you with, just let me know. I'm gonna continue doing these calls. The next one is gonna be on Sunday, I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna be on Sunday. Yep. I'm gonna let you know the hour. I'm gonna let you know in advance. And again, guys, if there's one big takeaway from these chats, is the fact that you have to be mentally strong. I think the biggest thing right here, if you want to improve, if you want to get better, again, besides all the things I've spoken about alignment and whatnot, is just being able to pick yourself up after someone ignores you, after you get 1-star reviews, after you get, completely overlooked. That's the biggest thing. When you work so much on a project for 2 months and you don't get paid, I think you have to be mentally prepared, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys don't think it's going to happen to you, right? It's not going to happen to me. I'm sure my client is going to pay me. But unfortunately, it's part of this field, people not getting paid. So always make sure that you do your best to protect yourself. And when you ask for any sum of money, when you ask to get paid or whatever, just make sure you're respectful. Just make sure everything is written down. Make sure all your communication, the important communication, is written in an email. Please pay the attached invoice in 14 days. Whatever, please agree to the terms of our project. 14 days, you're gonna pay me $500 for the one PSD, for whatever, two PSDs for your website. Make sure everything is in writing, because I can say whatever I want here, it's not gonna stand up, right? If you misinterpret something, and you write it whatever anywhere else, nobody is gonna believe you unless you actually have some proof, unless you have physical evidence that the client actually agreed to pay you, right? Because again, it happened to me. For example, one of the many ways I got ripped off. Actually, it only happened to me 3 times. So 3 times in, I think, about 4.5 years. That's not all that bad. He said something like, "Okay, I'm not gonna pay you because I said I'm gonna pay you. I said initially that I was gonna pay you $300 if I liked it, but I don't like it and I wanna move with another guy. So I'm not gonna pay you." This was after I actually worked on the project for at least 3 weeks. So we were going, concept after concept, and at a certain point, I realized, hey, I need to pay my bills. I need some money in my bank account. Can you please make a transfer, at least 50% of it, $150? And he was like, no, I think actually we're gonna stop here. We're gonna stop here. But yeah, I already made you at least 4 concepts. We spent a lot of hours on Skype and screen sharing and whatnot. Yeah, but no, you misinterpreted my what I said. What I said in the initial call on Skype was that I'm gonna pay you if I like it. I'm not sure if you understood something else. I'm sorry, it's just a misunderstanding, but I have no obligation to you. So yeah, that was one of the ways I got ripped off. So make sure everything is in writing. Okay, guys, I think this is it. I think that's it for now. Next time, please, when get inside the voice channel, at the start of it, so you can get the whole thing and you can get a seat to the screen sharing thing. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and hopefully this wasn't as awful as I think it was, at least in the beginning. Have a good one. Bye.